Well, telecoms, I needed about £10,000, but you know, you can start a business with any amount of money, and some is better than none. And if you don't have access to funding, then a scheme like this is going to be beneficial.
What could you do with £2,500, though, do you think?
Well, it depends what sort of business you're doing, but £2,500 is enough to get the basics set up in virtually any sector. I think it's enthusiasm that really counts more than the money. So £2,500 is definitely enough to make a good start, especially for people without access to rich parents or other forms. I mean, banks aren't lending anymore, are they?
£2,500, James. What do you imagine people might do with that? And critically, if you're giving to, you know, young, obviously inexperienced people, how do you make sure they use it sensibly?
It's a really good question, Susanna. Firstly, when we are allocating the loans, what makes this scheme very unique is the loans also come with a mentor. So where young people are going to find it challenging to say, how do I start my business, what do I do, you know, what kind of preparation do I need? The one thing that makes this particular scheme unique is the fact that you'll get a mentor. When I started my recruitment company, I started on less than £1,000 because at the time, to start a recruitment company, all you really needed was an office, a phone and a desk. So I started in a serviced office where I didn't need furniture because it all, you know, came prepared with that, and essentially, you know, business cards. My sister recently started a catering business where she started from home, and all she needed was to buy the ingredients to start producing some of her stuff. My daughter currently is also looking to start her own business where she wants to import handbags, designs handbags in the Far East and sells them in the UK, and essentially what she needed was a website and actually to buy the stock. So I think you can start a business with £2,500, and I think especially when you get a mentor that comes with the programme, that makes it much more easier.
Right, Stuart, it's not just about the money. The mentoring is a really important part of it too, because there's, as you've found yourself, there's so much more than just the start-up costs to deal with that you need to learn.
The thing that got me was going through school, you're not taught about VAT returns, you're not taught about accounts, and that is a legal minefield. I mean, there are, you know, areas of red tape in the government, and things like the Beecroft report are aiming to remove employment red tape, but there's still so many areas that really can get in the way, and good mentoring is probably more important than money. The thing I would be hopeful of is that the mentors aren't the same traditional banking types that really don't understand new business. They're going to have some entrepreneurial flair so that they can recognise. I would like to think if Mark Zuckerberg walked into this scheme, he would be given the money and be giving the support that could lead him where he is today.
Yeah, I mean, James, I suppose we need to put, you know, the criticisms of this scheme to you as well. The Federation of Small Businesses say schemes like this look great on paper. Do they ever come to much? It would be better if the government focused on cutting red tape. And Ruth Lee from the Arbuthnot Banking Group says, you know, young people, could they suddenly run a business like this? They could lose quite a bit of money. It would be better to advise people to stay in education.
Well, I think the one thing we're not saying is that people shouldn't stay in education. What this is an alternative. Remember, Susanna, there are millions of people today who have got university degrees, are still finding it difficult to get a job. So what we're not saying here is don't give up on education. What we're saying is that if you have that opportunity, that spirit of enterprise, and you can run a business, and everybody for the last couple of years has been saying the biggest challenge is I have no access to capital. What this does is provides that unique opportunity where you are getting the capital and a mentor. You know, is there going to be red tape involved? One of the reasons that I'm being involved is I am an entrepreneur. I have built a business before. I understand the challenges that this is going to take, and as chairman of the Startup Loans Company, that's specifically my role to make sure that these funds are distributed without red tape, that gives the young people the opportunity that I absolutely believe they need. And I think for Britain this is a great initiative to get more young people into business.